Welcome to the Social Bee podcast with your host, Louise Brogan. Every week, Louise will be bringing you a podcast all about women entrepreneurs, talking about their challenges, their goals, and inspiring you to either start your own business or grow the business you have. Visit www.socialbeeni.com to join our community and pick up some lovely freebies to start marketing your business online today.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Social Bee podcast. Today I have a good friend of mine coming on the podcast actually, Carmel Seery. Carmel and I met in person when we had dinner with John Lee Dumas and Kate Erickson in Dublin over a year ago anyway. I'd never met Carmel before and we had dinner together, all of us, and we've become firm friends and we're even talking about collaborating together in the future. So it was perfect guest to bring on the podcast. So Carmel, welcome to the podcast.
Hi Louise, how are you? I'm delighted to be here.
Great, I'm so happy that you're on with me today. Carmel, I know that you are a management accountant and I didn't know what a management accountant was until I met you. So would you like to tell everybody a little bit about your business and what a management accountant actually does?
Yes, excellent. The best way I've had to come up with this is that I work inside the company. So I'm still focused on money and I'm still use and produce the same figures. But the accountant that you're probably more familiar with is the accountant that works on your business to make sure that you are compliant with the government and that you claim the right expenses and that you're paying the right tax. Right. A management accountant will work inside your business. So I still produce the same figures and reports that an external accountant will do, but I'm more interested in showing you where you're making money. So if you have a multitude of services, which services is bringing in the most profit for you? And I'm focused on profit. So a lot of the time we hear about 6-figure, 7-figure businesses. And one of the things that I try and teach with my clients is that you would rather have 10,000 profit on a 50,000 business than 10,000 profit on 100,000 business. And it's about growing your profit. Now obviously you need sales to do that, but it's about managing your costs so you can maximize your profit.
Which really sounds like something that every small business owner or entrepreneur should be doing.
Yes, it is something that everyone should be doing. But you know, everybody, small businesses, entrepreneurs, they've got many hats on. They have a lot of fires to put out and they tend to leave the numbers in the business because one, they don't know where to start. And then two, because there's a deadline with the tax return or you're filing your tax returns, there's often not that urgency for 11 months of the year. And then there's panic stations on the 12th month trying to get everything organized. And then once that panic is over and you file your returns, you go back to what you normally do in the business that you may not have touched for the last couple of weeks. And the cycle returns again. But the amount of information in your business, that's kind of like the blueprint of your business. It's your successes, it's your weaknesses, it's everything in there. And if you don't set yourself up to look at this on a regular basis and see what's working and what's not, you can often go down an awful lot of rabbit holes and make no money.
Which is not a situation we want to be in.
No, I mean, considering we're all in business to make money, a lot of people shy away from it, you know, and they shy away from pricing and they shy away from just talking about money.
I think that's probably why you and I hit it off so much because when I'm running an event, say I'm running like a networking event or my local mastermind day that I had here in Belfast, I said, let's talk about money. How much money you would have loved this, Carmel, and I got this from you, definitely. One of my clients has, say, 4 or 5 different revenue streams, and we got out a big flip chart and a marker, and I said, right, tell me what revenue stream 1 gives you per hour, and we did it for all 5 revenue streams. And it was like the biggest light bulb in the world went off. And I'm like, why are you looking at these 2 revenue streams that are bringing, like literally are working out about 12 or 20 pounds or euros an hour, when you've got this other revenue stream that you can charge 200 an hour for. And it was really like, she just never thought of it that way before. So it was really fascinating. And I, because I have different revenue streams, and it wasn't until I met you that I thought, how much am I actually earning per hour doing all of these different things? And which should I be concentrating on? So I think it's such a valuable service. So if someone, does people hire a management accountant to work 12 months of the year with them, or is it something that you kind of parachute in and work with somebody over a series of weeks and then leave again? What way does it work?
Okay, very good. It actually depends on the size of your business. So I have always worked in industry. This is something else people find quite unusual. As an accountant, I've actually never worked in an accounting practice. I've always worked for companies, for businesses, for the corporate world. And I would always have been, there's teams of accountants in there, and they have many different types of accountants in. Like the likes of Google and Facebook would have they probably have, I don't even know, 50, 100 management accountants, all looking at their numbers on a daily, weekly, monthly basis.
Oh, wow.
And they spend a lot of money launching things, and then they spend an awful lot of money analysing things, and things get changed very fast when things are working and when things aren't working. But for the smaller business, you probably, they wouldn't have the money to hire somebody full time, but they wouldn't also need it either. But the one thing I would say is, doesn't matter where you are in business, to do monthly management accounts and to look at them. So for a very small business starting out, a lot of the problems they would have is they don't even know where to start. So the one thing that they would start at is keeping track of their expenses. And that would be on the back of an envelope. I mean, how you do it is not very important. It's that you do it is the important part.
Yeah.
And you could just write down every week. My mother used to have a little notebook, and she would write down every single thing she spent during the week, and she would balance her accounts on a Friday. Now, that was just a household account, and by no means was our household big. It was just something that she had been taught to do.
I think I should be doing that in our house.
Yeah, you probably do it. I think a lot of people do that.
You know what? We don't do it. I'm saying I think we should.
You should do it. Well, it's the old-fashioned thing, when my dad would give her the money at the end of the week, and she would have to make it last.
Yeah. She had to manage it.
She had to manage it. And so that's one side of it. And then obviously the sales. We're very good at sending out invoices, and we're great when we get the money in. But a lot of people actually miss, as they get busier and busier, they will miss if people have not paid them.
Oh my goodness. Hello.
Yeah, so you need to be...
My hand in the air.
Yes. And these are simple, these are logical things. They're not complicated things. But even if you had your invoices on the back of an envelope and you wrote them all down, and when they came in, you said tick, 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 even to do those very, very simple things in your business will give you a huge sense of control on the money.
Yes. Oh, it's really quite common sense what you're saying.
Yes, it really, really is. And now obviously it can get as complex as you want, but it is, and there's loads of apps out there. There's free apps out there, and they actually are brilliant. I've seen them, I've worked them, I have seen all that, and they're brilliant. But I would just give a little bit of caution. If you don't know what you're doing, it can create a bit of a problem for you.
Yeah.
And so therefore I think there's more control in the paper way first, and then you could look then at how do I replicate this into a system. I've seen people use free apps, and they've doubled up on their sales, and they have had none of their expenses coming through, and different things like that. So it's just to be cautious of what you're doing, and to use the reporting facilities to make sure that what you're putting in is what you think you're putting in.
Yeah, it's interesting because for all the, and it's not talking about money here, but for all the different softwares out there for managing your clients and your proposals and all this stuff and invoicing, actually what I keep going back to is just using a plain old Google sheet where I have the customer name, when they contacted me, their email address, what I'm meant to be doing for them, and then when they're finished, they're all color coded. It's like the yellow for things that are currently ongoing, and then when they're done, I literally cut and paste them across into a different sheet. I was like, smart, completed, and it's so much simpler than all these different complicated software programs. It's just me. I don't really need to be using anything more complicated.
You don't. And the thing about the entrepreneur, they just need control over their money. And once you have control of your money, it's like my own private bank account. If I don't look at it and I don't reconcile even in my head, I will just spend. But if I know exactly how much money I have left in my bank account, it slows me down, and I'm looking at it every day, and I'm there thinking, can't spend any money today or this week. It just gives me more control.
Yes, and then you're less stressed, I think, as a result.
Yes, absolutely, less stressed. And then another thing I just wanted to mention was a lot of your audience probably they run events, they do conference like yourself, and I was speaking to somebody there during the week, and they had said on their first conference they overran and owed €7,000, which is what, £6,000? Oh
my goodness. Well, it's probably about £7,000 right now.
Well, yeah. Depends on, So and it sounds really like, oh my God, how did you manage to do that?
Yes.
And she was just saying that she went into the hotel, she ordered the best dinners, she ordered the best coffees, and every break had all of these extras on that. Looking at one price, a meal, €20 doesn't seem that much. A coffee, €5 doesn't seem that much. But if you're doing it for 80 people, that's a bill, and adding up all of these different things. She has never done it since. But it's a huge learning curve. But this is where management accounting will help you. They'll do out costings, they'll work out your break-even point. When it starts to make money, when your workshop or conference is going to start making money.
I'll give you a little insight then into, so we have our second social media boot camp coming up in October.
Yes, I was there at the first one. It was excellent.
You are, and you're in our promotional videos, looking very gorgeous. So I partner with Ashley, who runs Copper Square Communications, and the way it works is I manage all the money. So it is quite nerve-wracking. So we had 113 people at that conference. If you multiply that up by the ticket sales, I needed to know that I had enough money. So we have a spreadsheet, and we have a list of costs, and it's all got nice little formulas in it. So we know a cost per hen, and if the ticket sales go up past 75, it automatically multiplies out. So we had the costs, we had the ticket sales, we had the sponsors, and it had to be really carefully managed. But I had all the money sitting in my bank account, and I was paying all the invoices. So that was quite nerve-wracking, because the conference was in May, and in June I had so many bills to pay. But because people who listen to this podcast will know from my business origin story that I'm very risk averse. So it was fine, but I can completely see how people will get themselves into a pickle there. Just spend, because the ticket sales come in, steadily over the months and weeks in the run up to the conference. It's not like they all come in on the Friday into your account and then you pay everything out on the Monday. It doesn't work that way. So I have to be doubly cautious in the run up to a conference, that I'm not going, I can afford to go to that conference in America because this is the bank balance, or taking my tax money to pay for something. So
I mean, what you're talking about there is just so. It sounds, when you're saying it sounds like, of course, that makes huge sense. But when you're in that money, and it's like people coming up maybe and even giving you cash, and you put that